Hey guys, and welcome to today's First Impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at Prehistoric Kingdom, which is basically a planet zoo for big dinosaurs. It is a game that, for obvious reasons, can't take the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World name, and it's pretty interesting. It's very detailed. It goes into a lot of detail about a lot of stuff. There is a lot to do in this game. However, I have some rather big problems with it that for somebody that is not going to be into these games is going to be a massive hurdle. As always, we'll look at the options first and then we'll get into the gameplay, and I will talk through each and every aspect of this and give my first thoughts and impressions on it. I want to preface this by saying that it is very, very early access, so hopefully there is a lot that can change. But without any further ado, let's jump into it and see what we're dealing with, shall we? Alright then, so the options. It's a very well fleshed out, right? There is a lot of information in this game. There's a lot of information in every tab you go on. There's a lot of reading to be done. The problem I've got with that is that in the options menu especially, the text quality is garbage. It is too small. It's very hard to read. It kind of mingles with the background a lot, and it just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense as a result. Like, it's very difficult to see what I'm doing and what I want to change. However, that being said, you do have a screen mode. You've got resolution, VSync on or off, your FPS limit. You've got your quality preset. Now, interestingly enough, this actually started mine on low, and I thought that's why the quality of the text was all blurry. However, I changed it and nothing. It's still the same horrible quality of the text and the background and everything. It blurs. It's not good. However, the options you've got to change within the game are plentiful, and I'm really happy with this graphics menu. There is tons that you can customize here. This is a very graphically intensive game. There's a lot of small details that are constantly going on, a lot of graphical things to load in, so I'm glad that they've added this much customization with it. I just wish that I could see what it was that I was customizing. Your audio. The audio in this game is very nice. It is very relaxing, very chill, as you would expect from a game like this, and I'm very pleased to report that they do start the volume at 50% by default. More games should do this. Big plus for them. And then you can also change how you mix the music as well from the mode that you're in, which is really nice. You've then got your general settings. This gets worse. This menu here is by and large the worst in the thing. Like, I can barely read what it says here, and I don't know why it's grayed out in the first place. It's generally just your temperature settings and stuff, but they're grayed out. You can't change them. Then you've got your world, and then you've got your state icons as well. You've got all your camera settings here. Interestingly enough, I did turn off camera shake, but apparently it turned it back on. So make sure that you're checking that the options are actually saving as well. Your movement, and then you can go down and you can change your camera, your building, your general and your quick access. And then you've got this star, which I'm assuming is to favorite everything. Not entirely sure. It doesn't seem to do anything yet. So there's the options, guys. Very well fleshed out. Very difficult to read. Let's jump into the game and see if it gets better, shall we? Alright, so here we are. We're in the game. Now, as you can see, we're at night time right now, which is fine. The first thing I want to talk about is the loading times. The loading times are actually really long. It's a bit off-putting. I can understand, like, when you see how far we've cranked this game up and how many people there are and stuff and how many different animations, it makes sense why it takes so long to load in. However, long load times are never good. Outside of that, the word that I would probably come up for this game off the bat is overwhelming. There is so much here and so much to go through. And unfortunately, the tutorial barely scratches the surface. It doesn't really explain anything at all on how to do the more intricate things. It shows you how to check things like your enclosure and what your enclosure's got, but then it doesn't really go into how to improve a lot of that. And the information that the enclosures and the dinosaurs and stuff give you isn't always that clear, which is a bit of a shame. What I mean by that is, for example, I made this enclosure here. Now, I've made a ton of food, and I've made the enclosures, you know, fairly large, although with the angle and everything, I've screwed up one of the walls. But the guests can't see the animals because I haven't got like an entry point, if you will. I haven't got one of these. And I'm fucked if I can find out how to get one of these. And the best that I can come up with is that I've got to physically make it from scratch. But one of the biggest problems I'm finding is when I want to build something, or when I want to make something, for example, if we go to just, I don't know, guest here and choose an item, it starts at this angle, and I'm buggered if I can work out how to turn it. If you right click, it cancels it completely. If you use your middle button, it turns the entire camera around whilst actually keeping the item in question at the same angle. And if you use your left click, it places it. Just puts it in the middle of the path. And as a result, that makes building very, very difficult. And again, the tutorial tells you how to place things, but it doesn't go on to explain how to change the angle of things. It doesn't go on to give you the finer basics of building an actual area for you to be able to watch the animals that you're trying to build. Now, outside of that, the voice acting and the basics that the game does teach you is pretty good. Like, it teaches you the basics very well, but unfortunately it then just leaves you to it, and you're left here with a help screen that is just a lot of text. Like, you will be here all day if you try and read all of this information, and even then it doesn't really tell you what you want to know. Everything feels like it's a click too many. Like, to do anything, you've got to basically click on the thing that you want to click on to get the information that you need. And even then, it doesn't really tell you here. It doesn't tell you what I want to know. Like, it doesn't tell me whether this is a herbivore or not. It just gives me the information of whether it's got enough exhibit, whether it's got enough nature, all that good stuff. If I want to find the information out about the actual food and stuff that it eats, I've got to go all the way to the nursery here and open the nursery menu, find the dinosaur in question, and then it tells me the information that I'm after here. It just feels like a step too many. Like, it just, again, it's overwhelming. Now, what I will say is that the amount of detail that they've got is good. I just feel like it's not been put forward in the best way. And I feel like an extension on the tutorial would be the best way to combat that. An actual building tutorial on how to build the visionary part of the enclosure, as opposed to just leaving you to try and figure it out from all of this nonsense, right? And teaching you or giving you a prompt on how to actually change the angle of an item. Just little things like that that make a massive difference. Other than that, like, if you can get around that and if you can spend the time and learn how this game works, it is stunning. It works really well. They've got such a large library of dinosaurs. You can research new ones in the world. You can do so much. You can see so much. You can really get a feel for a good park. But the problem that this game has got is that you're going to have to get over that first stumbling block. And that, I'm not sure whether is going to be easy enough for a lot of people to be able to do that. On top of which, I keep forgetting what button it is to take me through to the world to be able to actually go ahead and... There it is, found it. So this is your research menu. This is where you go to excavations and stuff. And on the tutorial, pretty much everything is there. And the idea is that you have to hold and hold on to an item to research it. But again, it's not very clear that you have to do that. And for ages, I was just tapping away, trying to figure out what it was I was doing. Now on the tutorial, obviously, this is all already done. Everything's been unlocked. You have unlimited money and stuff. But if you go into a brand new park, then obviously you've got to gain enough money and gain enough research points to be able to do this in order to actually unlock everything. So yeah, there's a lot here. There is a hell of a lot in this game to unpack. You've got to deal with feces, you've got to deal with general park management, you've got to make sure that you have them fed and sheltered if they need it, make sure the enclosures are right for the type of animals that you've got, make sure that people can actually see the animals that you've got going on, and just stuff like that, just to generally make sure that you are running a park well and making enough money. I really want to like this game. I like dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are cool. The detail, the level of detail, the level of knowledge that they've got on each of the species is amazing. I just feel like the actual park making bit is too finicky and has too many like random things that you just can't quite get grasp on because it doesn't tell you how to do it. Or if it does tell you how to do it, it tells you it in a very long-winded way that is going to take more time looking up and researching than you are actually playing. That being said, I get the feeling that if you are a veteran to games like this, you're probably not going to have that issue, right? If you're used to park building games and you know, Zoo Tycoon and all that nonsense, then you'll probably pick this up and have a whale of a time. I'm talking very specifically to new players to the genre. It doesn't do a very good job of having a very good new player experience. So there you are, guys. This is Prehistoric Park. Let me know what you think in those comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.